how to farm out Maple and the Gasha Seed Heart Pieces. So for Maple, you need to kill 30 monsters for her to appear. You have to kill 40 monsters for the Gasha Seed to grow into Gasha Nuts, which can then be harvested. However, there are rings in the game that will bring those numbers down. For example, if you have the Maple ring equipped, it'll only take 15 monsters. If you have the Gasha ring equipped, it'll bring that number down to 20. My recommended strategy, because you can plant multiple Gasha Seeds, and there are multiples that can give the heart piece, is that you plant all the Gasha Seeds and then farm Maple. You equip the Maple ring and you keep going after Maple. And the reason being is because Maple can sometimes drop Gasha Seeds, which will speed everything up significantly. The other thing is Maple can lose the heart piece and it ends up in a cliff or something somewhere, so you have a lot more RNG variables with Maple than you do the Gasha Seed. Now to farm Maple in this game, you're going to head up here all the way up to Tarm Ruins, and you want to make sure you have the Maple ring equipped. This will change the number you need to kill to 15 instead of 30. Kill the mace guy is an option. You don't have to necessarily. But kill all these other guys. That'll give you 5 so far if you kill the mace one, 4 if you don't. This is where you'll encounter Maple. And then you have 3 more guys up here you can beat up. Now you can reload by not doing that. Reload with this, which will respawn all the enemies. And alternatively, you can walk the screens and then come up here and go into the dungeon, I believe, which will also reset all the enemies. And you'll encounter Maple here to get your heart piece. Obviously, I already have mine, so it's not going to happen here, but when you hit her, use Pegasus Seeds immediately and then start dashing. In fact, here's the footage of me getting the heart piece from the Maple encounter. And I got a really good location for it, so I didn't even have to run for it. So at the time of recording this, I am actually between Dungeons 7 and 8 in Oracle of Ages. I have not beaten the game. A lot of strategists say to use the Black Tower because the Black Tower has so many enemies in it, it's a lot easier to track. For my situation, I had to do things a little differently. So to make this work for me, I went into Symmetry City. And you have 2 dark nuts right here. Then you would have levers, usually about 2, sometimes just 1 though. And you can actually reach the Zora from here. You can also reach the Zora from here. So we're up to 6 enemies already. Then you would head up, and then we get a 7th. 8, 9, and 10 right here. And then I like to check this, because sometimes you can kill the Zoras here. Not all the time, but sometimes. And then you can get up to 12. You can reset with the Gale Seed, or you can just walk all the way back, preferably with Pegasus Seeds. I just don't feel like switching them out. And then you go back into this, back into Symmetry City and enter this house. Exit. And then all the enemies will be back. And you just repeat the cycle until Maple shows up. Now, when you run into Maple, this is the ideal location to get her. And because there's less chance of things going into water in the cliff compared to the other one. That said, I did get Maple in the other one. That said, this is the other location you can end up with Maple in this run, which I did get her here with the heart piece, which was rather unfortunate, but I did manage to snag it in the end, so gotta be careful about that. There's a lot more water here that stuff can go into. Alright, and this is where I got the heart piece in Oracle of Ages. Each of the Gasha seeds can be divided into 4 different types of tiers. The 1 to 2 range, the 1 to 3 rarity, the 2 to 4 rarity, and the 3 to 5 rarity. This is for determining what type of rings you can get from the tree, but also for figuring out if a tree can even have a heart piece. A Gasha nut containing a heart piece has the equivalent of rarity of a tier 4 ring. That is according to the Zelda wiki. Link will be in the description. And as a side note, this is also how you get the higher tier rings if you're trying to do a ring run legitimately. Now there are only 4 seeds or 4 Gasha trees that can produce a heart piece. One appears here in the fall when you can move these mushrooms, and that's a rarity 2 to 4. This is Unicorn Cave, and the one next to it has the Gasha seeds. So if you come over here, I believe I had to dig this out on the stream, but if you just cut down all these, dig right here, you'll get another Gasha seed spot. And this one gives you a 2 to 4 rarity just like the previous one. Now for the 3 to 5 rarity, you have to go to Sunken City. If you've beaten Oracle of 8 Seasons as the first game, you need to make sure you go to the north and change it to summer before you continue, because the whole world is going to be spring consistently now, which means there are no longer vines for you to be able to climb. Just follow the cave as normal. And then once you're out on the other side, if you change it to summer, the vine should grow. And then you can head over... That's actually where the location is. This is where we are on the map. Keep heading this way. You'll need to equip a shovel. I'm ignoring Maple because we've already gone through that portion of this video. And then at some point you need to change your power bracelet because you'll need it both to get to the seed and to harvest it. And once you're in the Goron Mountain, take the stairs. And then head east once you head out the cave. Lift the rock. And you can harvest the seed. Now you want to come to Tarm Ruins up here in the north. And you can ignore all these guys unless you need them. This is where the last 3 to 5 Gasha seed location is. Honestly, the easiest one to access if you just want to like invest all your seeds into this one spot. That might be the way to do it. This is actually where I got my heart piece from the Gasha seed. And yeah, immediately after getting the maple heart piece, I went over to Tarm Ruins. To check up on my Gasha seed, and... lo and behold, it was the heart piece, so I got it really easy with this. Now, interestingly enough, the Gasha seeds are a lot more complicated in Oracle of Ages. There's a lot more 2 to 4 rarities, and only one 3 to 5 rarity that is always accessible. There is one that is accessible only in a Link game, in the Sea of Storms. However, you can still get this with the other locations. So I'm going to go ahead and just show off all those, because there's a lot of them. And I actually have a specific area I like to go, and a specific route I had when I was doing this to get my personal heart piece that I will show. The first you have access to, and you might need the shovel to use it again, I might have dug this on stream. The first 2 to 4 access one you have is in the Yol Graveyard right here on the map. And this one can give you a 2 to 4 rarity. Also, as a warning, they are also time period sensitive, so you gotta make sure you're putting it in the right map. Alright, so if you head west from Lina, and then up a little bit, you'll start heading up here towards the east of the Restoration Wall. And eventually we should find a spot where a Gasha seed right here between these rocks, you can dig it out. This one has a 2 to 4 rarity. This is the exact spot on the map. As you can tell by the music, it's also a maple encounter, but I don't need the heart piece, so I'm not doing that. Alright, so the next next 3, I'm just going to do them all in order, because they're all in the same rough area. There's 2 on Crescent Island, and then there's another one that we get post, like, once we get the Song of Ages and everything. And so I'm just going to cover them all here. This is the route I was taking whenever I was doing Gasha Seed, and I ended up getting it right here. So you see the statue, head down a screen, press A right here. At least use your Harp of Ages to travel back to the past. You'll end up in the water, don't worry about that. You can plant the Gasha Seed here, and this is the 3 to 5 rarity that you actually have access to no matter what. This is where I got my Gasha Seed whenever I was doing my playthrough. And I actually got the heart piece here in my playthrough of Oracle of Ages that I'm doing on stream. Obviously this is off cam, but the next one is up this way. And if you just swim around the island here, you normally can't access this without either the mermaid suit or Dimitri. And if you're using the route I'm using for when I was grinding this, you're also going to need the Harp of Ages. I would stand right here and then use the Harp of Ages. Then I could collect this Gasha Seed, which for me right now is just a ring. And now to set up the next one, I'm going to go to the past, get onto the actual island, and then travel back to the future. Also, before I forget, this is just a 2 to 4 rarity location. Towards the southern eastern part of the island here, you'll find a cave and some vines if you push the bean over here in the past. And using the power bracelet and the sword, you can lift these up and find a Gasha Seed spot. This is another 2 to 4 location. This is one I didn't even know was in the game until I had to look it up. And it's actually one you're only going to be able to get with your buddy. So if you hop up here to this tile, it's going to look different for everybody. Because if you have Moosh or Dimitri, it's going to be a very different layout here in the Noon Highlands. If you dig right there, there's a Gasha Seed location. And that one is another 2 to 4 rarity. Now if you head to Zora Village in the past and then swim down to the southwest corner, should be another Gasha Seed location here. This one also ends up being a 2 to 4 rarity. Right. At this location in the Sea of Storms, you can dive under these to get through the waterfall, or to get through the whirlpools, and then dive up here. Then using your shovel, you can dig this spot right here, and get the other 3 to 5 rarity Gasha Seed. The last Gasha Seed you can actually get a heart piece from in Oracle of Ages. I wish you luck on your heart piece hunts. Happy haunting.